Today we're going to be talking about Imperfect Foods, and I'm going to give you my brutally honest, no holding back, real review of the service. Imperfect Foods, if you haven't heard of them, is basically a grocery delivery service. But their big pitch is that they can reduce waste by giving you food items that would otherwise be thrown away. They do sell items that are not imperfect, as they call them, just like regular items you would find in your grocery store. But a lot of their items are actually items that are thrown away before they even get to the grocery store level. So for context, I used to work in a grocery store for about 5 years. And in grocery stores, there's actually a ton of food waste, like an incredible amount. You would be amazed how much food is thrown away before it gets to you, the consumer, just because people in the store are going through and finding items that aren't fit for consumer consumption. Interestingly enough, even though there's that much waste thrown out at the grocery store level, the majority of food waste actually happens before it gets to the grocery store, after the production stage. So suppliers and farmers and other individuals like that are actually sorting through their products and deciding which items grocery store would probably not want to sell, and then they're just throwing those items away, and oftentimes they go to landfill. So what Imperfect does is it purchases those items directly from the suppliers in the beginning, and then it sells those to its customers at a reduced rate. So definitely a cool concept and very sustainable, and that is what got me interested in Imperfect to begin with. For the record, I pay for this service. I found it pretty confusing when I was first signing up for it, so I thought it would be helpful to give people who are interested in it kind of like a one-on-one about how Imperfect works and if it's really worth it. So yes, how does Imperfect work? It's pretty complicated and you can't like fully understand how it works until you sign up for the service. So I'll walk you through it. Basically, there's a catalog of food that you can choose from and add to your grocery cart. But the trick is that catalog of food, you can't actually see it until your shopping window opens. So as you can imagine, Imperfect is constantly changing their inventory because items aren't always imperfect. They're not always not fit for consumer consumption. Why do I keep saying that? They're constantly updating what items they have in stock, what items are available. And although they have some items that they sell regularly always, most of the items they have kind of cycle in and out based on, what things the suppliers that they're shopping from are throwing away. So that being said, if you opened your cart on like Monday, there might be a completely different set of items available than if you're opening your cart on like a Friday. So combine that now with this need to reduce and like make efficient their delivery system, because they do, as far as I know, their own deliveries within the service. They don't like pay for an external company to deliver. So they organize all of their deliveries geographically. If you live in a similar area, like you and all of the people around you, all of the customers around you are likely getting your deliveries on the same day. So they dictate when you get your delivery. So when you combine those two things, that means that you have a limited window to shop and you have a specific delivery date to shop from. Because if you were choosing your food on a Friday, but your delivery date was the following Friday, your food would either go bad or someone else would have it in their cart with an earlier delivery date. It's like crazy complicated. They would have to hold all those things for you. To make it simpler and easy, they just tell you when you can shop and when your food is coming to you. So this period of time when you can shop is called your shopping window, which makes a lot of sense. And it's usually about 2 days as far as I can tell. So my shopping window starts on Monday at noon and it ends on Wednesday at noon, and then my delivery date is Friday around the same time, usually like between noon and 2 or 3 in the afternoon. You will get some sort of notification when your shopping window opens. I think I usually get an email and a text message, but you can change your settings on that and decide what kind of communications you want to receive from Imperfect. And then once you get your notification or once you remember that your shopping window is open, you log into the website and the catalog will suddenly appear. What's interesting is that if you log into the website before your shopping window, you will not be able to see any of the food items available to purchase. You can only see them if it's within your shopping window. Imperfect will auto-load a whole bunch of items into your cart based on preferences that you set when you first signed up with the service. And then you can choose to leave all of the items that they added into your cart as is. You can also edit the items, so you can delete some or change the quantities, and then you can also add additional items to what they added to your cart. So then you navigate outside of your cart to a different page. You can scroll through all of the items that they have available at that time. There are filters that you can use, but the filters aren't super great. I tend to use the Imperfect filter. I think that's the best one because that's what I signed up for the service for. I'm not as interested in the other items that they have that aren't actually like food waste items. But I filter by Imperfect, and then I go through and I decide, which of these things do I need? Which of these things do I want to add to my order? And then I just go through and I click them all and I add them to my cart. Definitely recommend that you do this process on the web browser and not on your phone. You can do it on your phone if you're in a pinch, but I just think the whole experience is much better and much easier to navigate if you do it on a computer. What's interesting is that once you have finished picking your food, there's no like submit button or like confirm or anything. You just leave the items in your cart and exit the page, and that's all, because everything that's in your cart once your shopping window closes is what's going to get delivered to you. So you could come in on like Monday morning if you have the same delivery window as me, add all of the items that you want, and then make any last minute changes you want after that up until 11:59 a.m. on Wednesday. Then you just wait a couple days and they will text you when your delivery is on the way, and then once it's arrived, they will just leave it right outside your door. And then you have a big cardboard box full of groceries, produce, meat alternatives, dairy alternatives, basically anything you can think of. There are snacks, chips, milk, everything. So that's how Imperfect works. Now let's get into the pros and the cons of the service. Starting with the pros, of which there are many, the number one pro of the service has got to be the sustainability aspect. The amount of food waste that Imperfect Foods is reducing is, I'm sure, incredible. It is so exciting to know that things that you would be buying anyways at the regular grocery store, you can get in a more sustainable way. It's almost like buying your food used in a way. And because you're buying these items that are otherwise unwanted, the prices are usually pretty good too, especially on the Imperfect items. Not so much on the other items that aren't Imperfect, but I guess depending on where you shop, they could be a good deal. I usually prefer to buy my like grains and other staples at the regular grocery store or in bulk somewhere else. And then I reserve Imperfect for the most part for my produce. To go along with that sustainability feature, the majority of the items that you buy, at least the produce, is package free and plastic free, which is awesome. And I think that's because they're buying the items directly from the supplier, so they are in their original form. They don't need as much additional packaging because they didn't plan on selling them at a grocery store to a consumer there. That being said, you will get a few items in plastic, but the majority of the items that you're getting are plastic free. So if your local grocery store doesn't have a lot of plastic free options, this is definitely a good service for you. I know I cry a little bit inside every time I go to my local Aldi and like everything is wrapped in plastic. The broccoli, the lettuce, the bananas, like you cannot find anything without plastic. It sucks. Like I mentioned before, there's also a wide variety of food items, so you can get a ton of different types of produce, exotic fruits and vegetables, avocados, mangoes, tropical fruits, and then your more traditional produce like potatoes and oranges and onions and garlic and all that stuff. And then on top of produce, you can also get meat, dairy, and egg items. They also have vegan versions, which I would recommend that you buy instead of the animal products, but That's another topic for another video. They have grains, they have nuts and seeds, they have beans and legumes, canned and dried. Just a good wide variety of pretty much all of your kitchen staples. And if you're looking for more organic and like natural types of foods, they definitely have a lot of options for you. They have great customer service, really easy refunds if anything ever goes wrong, and really speedy response times. There's also no annual fee. They have a couple of tools that are really cool. They have this never list, which just means that any items that are auto-loaded to your cart, you can add to your never list and they will never be auto-loaded to your cart again. So for me, cilantro is on that list because it's nasty and I don't want it to ever be in my cart. No, thank you. And then they also have a recurring list, things that will automatically be added to your cart if they're available every single week. I have milk and bread and scallions on my recurring list because those are things that I want to have in my order every single time if they're available. And then on a more personal note, I find that buying from Imperfect just encourages me to eat so many more fruits and vegetables than I did before. And I get really excited about eating fruits and vegetables way more than I did before. I think because I know that they're better for the environment, they're more sustainable, and they just they look so exciting when they come in your box. And I don't know, I just get excited about cooking them, and it encourages me to eat a lot healthier. And also it encourages you to be a little bit more creative with your food, especially if you don't change the items that they give you in your cart automatically. It can be kind of a weird mix of things, and if you leave it as is, kind of forces you to figure out oh, how do I cook this random grain that I've never heard of? Or how am I going to somehow make potatoes and cauliflower and mango taste good together? All right, now on to the cons. Number one, there are no bananas. I'm not sure why, and I'm actually pretty curious, so if any of you guys do know why, drop it in the comments below. But yeah, there are no bananas available on the site. I haven't seen them the entire time that I've been shopping there, and I've been shopping there for the past, I don't know, almost a year now. Most of the time they pack my box, and not in the most intelligent way. They'll put delicate items on the bottom and heavier items on the top, or maybe they don't do that to begin with, but in delivery it kind of gets mixed around. A couple of times I've had things open or leak in my box, so that is kind of annoying, but it's more rare. I just hate to see the kale and the lettuce crushed under a bunch of potatoes, but it's fine. There have also been a couple of strange changes to my delivery date early on in the process. I wasn't super happy about that, but my delivery date has stayed the same over time, so I do appreciate that. That being said, I don't particularly like my new delivery date. I get the deliveries on Fridays. That's not very convenient for me. Originally, my delivery date was earlier on in the week, and I liked that a lot better. But I see why they do that. I see why you can't choose your particular delivery date, and I think it makes sense. And in terms of the environmental impact, it's a lot better to have one person driving all the orders around more efficiently than to have people coming, every day all willy-nilly whenever somebody needs a delivery. Because of that delivery date issue, you do have a very limited time to check your order. So if you forget and there's something in your cart that you didn't want, you are basically screwed. And this is particularly annoying for me because a lot of times they auto-load non-vegan items into my cart. Pretty sure they asked and I said I was vegan, and yet I still get a lot of non-vegan items in my cart. So every time they pop up, I put them on my never list, but a couple of times it has happened where I've forgotten to check my cart and then I missed the shopping window, and what do you know, I get a non-vegan item in my delivery on accident. My order is also wrong pretty regularly. I would say almost every single time. It's not usually a lot of items that are wrong though. It's a wide variety of wrongness. It's either they have added items to my order that I didn't ask for. Oftentimes those are non-vegan items, and that is annoying. Sometimes they also send me the wrong item. So there was this one time when I was ordering mini pumpkins, and I double checked and made sure and they sent a different type of pumpkin instead, and then I got a refund. The next week I ordered the same thing happened, and a third time I did the same thing. I ordered the mini pumpkins. They had the photo there on the website. The description said mini pumpkins very specifically. So I ended up with a fuck ton of pie pumpkins, they're called, not mini pumpkins. But it was really easy. They gave me a refund every time, and even though it was annoying, shit happens. There is also a huge cold bag and ice pack that comes anytime you buy anything that's like moderately cold. And it does seem pretty wasteful that they send that. One time I got like one package of vegan cheese and they sent this whole big bag, a big ice pack. It seemed like really over the top. But the good news is that I just got an email today that they're going to be starting or renewing. Apparently they used to do this before I started with them. Renewing this program where they take back those ice packs and the cold bags, and they recycle the cold bags, they reuse the ice packs. So that's really exciting. Definitely makes this one like less of a con, more on the pro side, because it's super sustainable. Of course, one con is that there is a delivery fee. It's only $5, so it's not astronomical, and they do offer a free delivery on orders over $60, but it says very specifically on the site that that's only for a limited time. Now, for as long as I've been ordering from Imperfect, they haven't changed that, so it doesn't seem to be a limited time only offer. It's a small fee, but it just feels like, you know, it would be definitely a pro if delivery was free. And if I could give one big suggestion to Imperfect, they may already be working on this, I don't know, but I feel like the whole site really lends itself really well to a mobile app. And I'm surprised that they don't already have one. I just think it makes so much sense, like the way things are laid out and the way that people probably are often shopping for their groceries and get their shopping window notifications on their phone. It makes a lot of sense that you would be able to do all of this on your phone. And like I mentioned, the website, the browser website, does not actually have that good of a mobile version. It's not super mobile friendly. So having an app would definitely bring this service up a notch. So overall, I give Imperfect an 8.5 out of 10. The half comes from that recyclable reuse program for their cold bags and their ice packs. I think that is awesome, and I'm so excited that they do that. Overall, I think this is a great service. I highly recommend it to anyone at all, especially people who have difficulty finding low waste options in their grocery store, or who just, you know, want to have more produce and vegetables in their life. I'm not sure about the availability of Imperfect throughout all of the areas of the US, but definitely if you live in a food desert and they do deliver to you, this would be a really great option for getting healthier produce and healthier food delivered straight to your door. If Imperfect were to create a mobile app and get a little bit better at some of those issues that they have in terms of like mismatched deliveries with what the order is, and throwing non-vegan items into a vegan's cart. Also just fixing some of those filters, making sure that the Imperfect filter is always only having Imperfect Foods, because sometimes you will be looking through there and there are some other things mixed in, like the filters don't always work perfectly. If they could change those things, I think I would give this service a 9.5, maybe even a 10 out of 10. It is that good, and I really like it. So highly encourage any of you guys to shop from Imperfect. It's so sustainable, it's great for the environment, and it's a really great service. I will put a link down below for you to sign up for the service. I think if you use it, we'll both get some money off our orders or something like that. I don't like work with Imperfect or anything. I am not not a shill for Imperfect, but I do use the service, and they have a sign up bonus just like, you know, any other random person who uses it. Yeah, so drop any questions that you guys might have about Imperfect down in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them, and let me know what you think. Have you ever used it before? Do you like it? What are your opinions? Of course, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.